What if your favorite childhood cartoon character wasn't the hero you remember, but a ruthless killer? Imagine Popeye, not as the spinach-loving sailor, but as a cold-blooded murderer. Sounds chilling, right? Well, that's exactly what this movie explores. The movie begins with the story of Popeye's birth. His mother experienced unbearable pain during labor, and he was so large that doctors had to cut open her stomach to deliver him. When they saw his face, they were shocked. He looked nothing like a normal baby. Even his parents were stunned, but since he was their child, they decided to love him regardless of how different he was. As Popeye grew older, he tried playing with other kids, but they constantly bullied and mocked him for his strange appearance. Only one girl defended him, telling the others not to make fun of him. One day, when a boy tried to hit the girl, Popeye lost control. In a fit of rage, he strangled the boy with such force that his eyes popped out. Horrified, Popeye's parents locked him in the basement. He wasn't completely alone, though. He had a secret friend who would drop letters through a small opening and talk to him. When the townspeople discovered Popeye had killed a child, they stormed his house, throwing Molotov cocktails and setting it ablaze. His parents perished in the fire while he desperately tried to save them. Heartbroken, he asked his basement friend what to do. She wrote back, telling him to escape. As he fled, the angry mob chased him. Eventually, they saw his body floating in a lake, sinking into the depths due to its weight. After that, Popeye was never seen again, and everyone believed he was dead. The story then jumps 15 years ahead. 3 YouTubers, Cherry, Mia, and Alan, arrive at the site to document Popeye's legend. Mia, the videographer, notices something moving in the water, but Cherry spooks her for fun. Alan warns them not to mess around since they are trespassing on private property. They quickly start filming, discussing how some locals claim Popeye's spirit still roams the fog, appearing and disappearing mysteriously. As Mia records, she notices someone lurking in the background, watching them. Alarmed, she tells the others, but they dismiss it as her imagination. Alan then suggests they explore Popeye's abandoned house for more footage. Mia hesitates, feeling uneasy, and refuses to enter. Alan tells her to wait outside and alert them if anything seems off. Inside, Cherry gets playful and suggests they get intimate while recording. Meanwhile, outside, Mia hears strange whispers calling her name. She turns, only to see Popeye standing behind her. Before she can react, he attacks, smashing her head into the ground, killing her instantly. Inside the house, Popeye soon finds Cherry and rips her mouth apart, killing her gruesomely. Alan, witnessing this, tries to flee, but Popeye chases him. Alan hides but is eventually caught. In a desperate attempt to fight back, he grabs a hammer and strikes Popeye's head. But it has no effect. Popeye overpowers him, crushing his skull with his bare hands, making his eyes pop out. With all 3 YouTubers dead, Popeye's legend takes a terrifying turn, proving that he never truly disappeared, and he's still out there, lurking in the fog. A letter arrives from the basement room, addressed to Popeye. It simply says, "Welcome back," revealing that his childhood friend from the other room is still alive. This confirms that Popeye isn't dead, he's alive. Then, we're introduced to a girl named Tara, who lives with her mother, Laura, and stepfather, George. Laura and George discuss selling a property. George agrees and mentions that Tara's history teacher recently died, and after her death, the house was transferred to Laura's name. He insists that Laura should sell it immediately, as everyone who buys Popeye's house ends up dead. Just then, Tara arrives, and they ask her where she's going. She tells them she's going on a trip with her friends but doesn't reveal that they're actually heading to Popeye's house. Since the house now belongs to her mother, she has the keys. Outside, Tara's boyfriend, Dylan, and her best friend, Donna, are talking. Dylan confesses his love for Tara, and Donna assures him that Tara loves him just as much. Tara joins them, and they leave to meet the rest of their friends. Meanwhile, Donna's boyfriend, Nick, is making out with a girl named Sky. This reveals that Nick is cheating on Donna. Their friend, Benny, interrupts them, and they all regroup for the trip. Another girl, Kathy, is also joining them. The group then asks Tara where they're actually headed. When she tells them it's Popeye's house, they're shocked, reminding her that it burned down years ago. Tara explains that it was rebuilt and assures them it's safe. They set off in their car, but deep in the forest, a man suddenly appears in front of their vehicle and collapses. Dylan and Tara rush out to help him, asking if he's hurt. The man insists he's fine but questions where they're headed. When they tell him they're going to Popeye's house, He panics and warns them not to go, saying they will all die if they do. Dismissing him as a crazy man, they ignore his warning and continue their journey. When they finally arrive at the cabin, they find it eerily unsettling. Suddenly, they hear a girl screaming. Rushing to the sound, they find Kathy, who was screaming out of excitement upon discovering a hot tub. The group then realizes that their phones have no signal. Tara reassures them that the signal fluctuates in this area. Meanwhile, Popeye stands by the lake, watching them. He has returned to take revenge. Why? That will be revealed soon. Later, Tara checks her laptop and finds that there's an internet connection. She looks up the weather forecast and tells Dylan that there will be heavy fog for the next week, meaning they won't be able to leave until then. Dylan comforts her, assuring her that bringing everyone here was a great idea and that they should just enjoy the trip. That night, the man they met earlier is fishing by the lake when he hears something in the forest. As he turns around, Popeye attacks him from behind, strangling him to death. Meanwhile, Tara and her friends are partying and having fun. Tara suggests they start fixing up the house that night, but the group, feeling exhausted, decides to begin in the morning. Back at Laura and George's house, Laura's friend, Jane, who happens to be Dylan's mother, arrives. She shows Laura a newspaper article about multiple dead bodies being discovered near Popeye's house. This proves that Popeye is still alive. Realizing their children are there, Laura and Jane become deeply worried. At the cabin, Benny approaches Kathy, trying to flirt with her, but she shows no interest, until he offers her a bottle of wine, which she gladly accepts. Suddenly, a creepy girl appears at their door. They open it, and she steps inside, warning them that Popeye has returned and will take revenge on all of them. But they don't believe her. The girl runs off, and Tara follows her, trying to talk to her. The girl then reveals that Popeye has come back for her. Saying this, she vanishes into the darkness. Nick tries to get close to Donna since she's his girlfriend, but Donna tells him she's not in the mood. Meanwhile, Laura is trying to call them to warn them, but there's no network, so no one's calls are going through. Inside their room, Tara and Dylan talk. Dylan reveals that he got selected for university and will soon leave the city for his studies. Tara is happy for him, and Dylan asks her to come with him. However, Tara refuses, saying she can't leave her parents. Elsewhere, Nick and Sky are in the bathtub, getting close. Sky tells Nick she loves him and suggests he break up with Donna and be with her instead. Nick refuses, saying he loves Donna and will marry her. Sky feels hurt, realizing Nick was just using her. She threatens to tell Donna everything, but Nick tells her to do whatever she wants and leaves. Alone, Sky messages Donna, but due to poor network, the message doesn't go through. Suddenly, Popeye appears behind her and drowns her in the water, killing her. At this point, a creepy girl approaches Popeye. It turns out she was the same girl he had met in the basement, his biological sister. She was also creepy, and their parents used to lock her in the basement. She tells Popeye that they will kill everyone one by one. The next morning, the group realizes Sky is missing. Nick lies, saying he saw Sky leave, so there's nothing to worry about. Meanwhile, Benny approaches Kathy and asks her out on a date, saying they'd make a great couple. Kathy rejects him, saying she's not interested. Hurt, Benny walks away into the forest, where he hears strange noises. Looking around, he finds Popeye's boat near the lake. When he boards the boat, he doesn't see anything unusual, unaware that a dead body is inside. Sitting by the lake, he is suddenly attacked from behind. Popeye emerges from the water, grabs Benny's neck, and rips his head off, killing him instantly. That night, while the friends are enjoying themselves, Donna takes photos of the group. Suddenly, her phone gets network coverage, and Sky's message is delivered. Donna reads it and realizes that Nick cheated on her. Furious, she storms off, and Nick follows her to explain. Meanwhile, Jane talks to Laura, urging her to come with her. Jane reveals that their kids are in the cabin, and they need to go there immediately to save them. Back at the cabin, Donna is furious with Nick. He apologizes, admitting he made a mistake and asks for forgiveness, saying he loves her and still wants to marry her. But Donna refuses and breaks up with him, walking away. Angry, Nick punches a wall, injuring his hand. Suddenly, he notices a container filled with eyeballs and is horrified. Before he can react, Popeye appears and attacks him. Popeye is too strong. He breaks Nick's hand and shoves his face onto a wooden spike, killing him. Crying, Donna walks back, realizing she should forgive Nick. But when she returns to the cabin, she finds his dead body and is horrified. Just then, Popeye appears, terrifying her. She runs away, screaming. Her friends hear her and rush into the forest, trying to find her. Tara suggests they all search together. While looking around, Tara finds an old photo inside the cabin. The picture includes all the students, and to her shock, her mother is also in it. Tara shows it to Dylan, who reveals that his mother was also a teacher at that school. They start suspecting that everything happening is connected to their parents. Meanwhile, Donna, still running, suddenly gets trapped in a net. Popeye arrives in a vehicle and runs her over, killing her instantly. Dylan, Tara, and Kathy reach the scene and are horrified by Donna's dead body. They immediately run away, but Kathy trips and falls. Popeye approaches to kill her, but just then, the sound of an approaching car makes him stop. Jane, George, and Laura arrive to rescue the kids. But before they can react, Popeye grabs Jane and brutally kills her. George and Laura, terrified, run for their lives. George and Laura run to Dylan and Tara, informing Dylan that his mother is no more. Popeye has killed her. Meanwhile, Kathy reaches the car and starts it, but Popeye appears in front of her, flipping the vehicle. Fuel starts leaking, and just then, a spark ignites a massive explosion, killing Kathy. Tara, her parents, and her boyfriend are in the cabin when Tara demands to know what's going on. Her mother finally reveals the truth. 15 years ago, Popeye was born here, and they used to live in this very town. However, all the kids bullied Popeye terribly, except for Tara, who always defended him. The girl seen saving him in the beginning was actually Tara herself. One day, after Popeye killed a child, an angry mob attacked his house, killing his parents. Popeye managed to escape, but he survived. Now, he has returned for revenge. Her mother explains that no one has lived in that house since, and she always wanted Tara to stay away from it, knowing Popeye would come back for vengeance. Just then, Popeye's sister arrives and brutally stabs George, killing him. She then tells Tara that Popeye is obsessed with her and will kill everyone else, including her mother, whom she stabs, leaving her gravely injured. In a desperate move, Tara douses Popeye's sister with kerosene and sets her on fire. As she burns, the group tries to escape, but she grabs a knife and goes after Tara, attempting to stab her. However, Dylan sets her body on fire, and she dies screaming in agony. Seeing this, Popeye is enraged and immediately grabs Laura by the throat, choking her to death. Witnessing her mother die before her eyes, Tara is filled with rage. Just as Popeye is about to kill Dylan, Tara drives a car straight into him, seemingly killing him. The two escape. The next morning, they reach the lake, hoping to leave. But suddenly, Popeye appears, grabbing Tara and dragging her away. And with that, the movie ends, revealing that Popeye is still alive. So that's the end of our movie. If you've come this far, make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe my channel.